Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, welcome to this sitting today for the special motion. I want to make the following communication. Honorable members, we meet this morning under a somber cloud that hangs heavy on our nation. You will recall that I did invoke Standing Order number 1 to adjourn the morning sitting of this House yesterday, a decision that resonated with the anxious solemnity that gripped the country as news broke of the passing on of one of Kenya's greatest sons. Honorable members, as confirmed by His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, CGH, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, the nation is in a mourning following the death of the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, EGH, the second Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya. The Right Honorable Raila Odinga passed away yesterday, Wednesday, 15th October 2025, while undergoing treatment in India. Honorable members, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga was born on 7th January 1945 to the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga and the late Mama Juma Odinga in Maseno, Kisumu County. He was the son of Kenya's first vice president, and from his earliest years, he was shaped by the spirit of courage, conviction, and compassion that would later define his life. He was educated in Kenya and Germany, where he earned a master's degree in mechanical engineering, a foundation that spoke to his sharp intellect and practical vision. On returning home, he lectured at the University of Nairobi and founded the East African Spectre Limited, an enterprise that reflected his belief that Africans could build and own their own future. When multi-party democracy was finally restored in Kenya, he became a central figure in shaping the nation's modern political history. From his election as a member of parliament for Langata constituency in 1992 to his leadership in the government and opposition, he embodied resilience and an abiding faith in the will of the people. Honorable members, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga was a reformer whose fingerprints are on every chapter of Kenya's democratic evolution. He played a pivotal role in the push for constitutional reform, chaired key parliamentary committees, and stood at the forefront of the conversations that eventually birthed the Constitution of Kenya 2010, our living testament to shared governance, freedom, and devolution. As a Minister for Roads, Public Works, and Housing, he championed infrastructure projects that reshaped our country, the expansion of major highways, the planning of the Lapsset Corridor, and the bold reclamation of public spaces long lost to impunity and land grabbing. Honorable members, as Prime Minister in the Grand Coalition Government, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga steered national reconciliation after the 2007-2008 post-election violence, working alongside the late President Mwai Kibaki to rebuild a nation torn by grief. As a principal in the eventual Grand Coalition Government, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga and His Excellency Mwai Kibaki appointed a team comprising His Excellency President William Ruto, Musalia Mudavadi, James Orengo, Professor Sam Ongeri, Martha Karua, Sally Kosgei, the late Mutula Kilonzo, and yours truly, Moses Wetangula, to join the former UN Secretary General, His Excellency Kofi Annan, Benjamin Mkapa, the late former President of Tanzania, and Mama Grace Machel, the former First Lady of Mozambique and South Africa, to negotiate on bringing the country back to normalcy. His commitment to unity and justice did not end at our borders. As the African Union High Representative for Infrastructure Development, he continued to serve the continent with same energy and vision that defined his public life. Honorable members, even in moments of political contest, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga often chose peace over power. This was demonstrated in the year 2007, 2013, 2017, and 2022 elections, when he put the stability of this nation above personal ambition, demonstrating time and again that leadership is not only about winning, but about holding our nation together. He was a man of the people, known to millions simply as Agwambo, Baba, Jacom, Tinga, and many other acronyms, just to name but a few. He walked with the mighty and the humble alike. He inspired courage, provoked thought, and carried with him the stubborn hope that Kenya could always be better than her past. Honorable members, as we remember this towering freedom fighter, patriot, and statesman, we also remember the tenderness behind the fire, the laughter behind the struggle, and the humanity behind the politics. He was a life that reminded us that conviction and compassion can walk hand in hand. I can go on and on and on, for there is so much that can be said about this great statesman, but I opt to pause at this moment. And therefore, honorable members, on behalf of the National Assembly, the Parliamentary Service Commission, and indeed on my own behalf, I extend our deepest condolences to the family of the late Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, specifically Mama Ida and the children, Rosemary, Junior, and Winnie, and our colleagues, Senator Dr. Oburu Oginga and Honorable Ruth Odinga Busia, to his friends, and to all Kenyans who mourn this father of the nation. Honorable members wishing to pay their respects may do so in the course of the day today. In the meantime, you approved an exceptional motion co-sponsored by the leaders of the majority party and the minority party to enable this House record its tributes to our departed former Prime Minister. In line with the presidential proclamation that the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has be accorded a state funeral, necessary arrangements have been put in place to ensure that this will be done in a manner befitting his stature. As a matter of fact, His Excellency the President, in consultation with the family, has set up a planning committee headed by His Excellency the Deputy President and Senator Dr. Oburu Oginga to coordinate all necessary arrangements. The committee will keep the country updated as appropriate. Honorable members, later in the day, the body which has already touched down at JKIA will be brought to Parliament to lie in state from noon until 5. Within that period, members of the public who are already queuing in their thousands out there will be milling through to pay their respects. The House will continue its sittings for you to eulogize the fallen leader, but members will be at liberty from time to time to step out, go and pay your respects, view the body, and come back to continue with our debate. His Excellency the President will be arriving in Parliament at around midday to join us, a few of us, in receiving the body. The House will continue until we break for lunch, resume at 2:30, and debate until midnight or until the last member who wishes to speak speaks, whichever comes earlier. We will, in the course of the day, be advising you as we go along. We'll have many visitors within Parliament, be good hosts. There'll be cabinet members, there'll be military and service commanders, there'll be diplomats coming to Parliament to pay their respects and play as you always play, as good hosts. Equally important, tomorrow there will be a state funeral conducted at Nyayo Stadium. I've instructed the clerk and the protocol teams of Parliament to ensure that there is enough space for members of Parliament to get seats at the stadium so that you can be part and parcel of the national mourning team. Thereafter, the body will be taken to Kisumu. Some members, numbering about 60, have requested to be assisted to fly to Kisumu. I've instructed the clerk to do so. Members who want to do so can record your names with the office of the clerk. You will be taken for the funeral on Sunday and be brought back. Those who want to come back on their own, you are free to do so that we can be part of this process. The Honorable Raila, if you were not close to him, was a man who begrudged nobody, was a man who stood head and shoulders above the clouds of politics, was a man who interacted with everybody. You are truly here, and those of you who love football always sat together with the Honorable Raila watching Arsenal, which was our team, and a team that he loved so much. When Arsenal was playing, Honorable Raila would not talk to anybody until the match is over. He will pay military attention to the game, and he would count all the players up to the subs. Arsenal was in his blood like it is in mine. And I'm told Jacko Wamboka has also Arsenal in his blood. So we have lost a great man. We have lost a great statesman. In the debate we are going to have, once I finish this, I'll invite Owen Bayer to move the motion. The leadership on this side, I'm told Gisairo will second the motion. No theatrics, no side shows. We're honoring a great man. Let's not use this moment to settle unhelpful and irrelevant political scores. Let's use this moment to honor a man who fought viciously like a buffalo and immediately made peace like an antelope with all the people he fought with. Whoever imagined the Right Honorable Raila would have worked with President Moi, who had detained him for 9 years? He did. Whoever imagined the Honorable Raila would sit in the same government as Prime Minister to President Kibaki after the 2007 vicious political contest? And he did. Whoever imagined the Right Honorable Raila Odinga would have a handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, our former president? And he did. Whoever imagined the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga would sit with President William Ruto after the last contest in 2022, that he was bruising and vicious, and he did. He's an example for all of us to emulate, that a political contest is not enmity. A political contest should not divide our country. A political contest should only be an opportunity to give wananchi to decide who of us should lead. And at the end of it all, the winner should never exalt him or herself, and the loser should never feel vanquished. We all come back together and remember, like Raila always did, that we have no spare country. We have only one Kenya, and everybody has a duty, a patriotic duty, to contribute to the well-being of our nation. You will find Honorable Raila in Burma, taking porridge with the ordinary people. You would find Honorable Raila in the Hilton, eating caviar with the mighty. That was the great man he was. And I encourage you, young politicians, emulate this, and our country will go places. Emulate this, and our country will spring from a developing country to a developed country. The ball is in our court. Rome was never built in a day, but the Romans were there to build it. Kenya cannot be built in a day, but Kenyans are there to build it. And you have been given the rare privilege at this time in our history to be the leaders of our country. Let's lead from the front. Let's show good examples. And let's emulate the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, that in your heart, there is no space for malice, there's no space for hatred, there's no space for vitriol, there's no space for cheap and unhelpful politics. There's only space for Kenya. Honorable members, in honor of, pardon? Take your seats. Take the nearest seats. Yeah? Take the nearest seat, honorable members. Honorable Soro, you are missing in action. Yes, I was telling everybody, all members, that let's be each other's keeper. Let's love each other. Let's love our people. Bob Marley said, know people, feel people, love people. That is what makes society. Know people, feel people, love people. That is the great Bob Marley. And that is the Kenya we want. As I finish, honorable members, in honor of his selfless service and immense contribution to the Republic, I once again request that we all rise and observe a moment of silence in memory of the late Raila Amolo Odinga, the enigma of Kenyan politics, a visionary leader, and a true son of our land. I believe Chinua Achebe had people like Raila in mind when he said, a wise man standing on the ground will see further than an idiot standing on top of a tree. And indeed, he saw further than many, many, many people. May the good Lord rest his soul in peace. Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga is dead. Long live. Thank you. I will now give you direction as follows, honorable members. The mover of this motion will have 10 minutes. The seconder will have 10 minutes. Your leaders, when they come, will have 20 minutes each. Each member will have 5 minutes to speak. You can exhaust your 5 minutes. You can spend less. Every member at the end of the day will have an opportunity to speak because we have selected the whole day for this. And Honorable Wario, member for Bura, is it? For Garsen, we agreed to some dress code for today. Didn't we? Yes. You are the odd man out. You are the stranger in Parliament today. Call the next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Okay.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements. Order number 8, exceptional motion, tributes of the House.
Thank you. Owen Bayer, you have 10 minutes to move the motion.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that following the presidential proclamation issued on 15th October 2025 regarding the passing on of the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, EGH, the former Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, and pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 259D1, the tributes of this House be recorded in honor of the late former Prime Minister's contribution in this House, his selfless service to the Republic and the continent of Africa, and for his role in promoting democracy, peace, and stability in Kenya and the region. Honorable Speaker, on my own behalf and on my own family and the people of Kilifi North constituency, and indeed on behalf of the members of this House, convey our deepest and most heartfelt condolences to the family of the late Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga following his demise. Honorable Speaker, in mourning the great Right Honorable Raila Odinga, I want to paraphrase the words of John Quincy Adams, the 6th President of the United States of America, and say this: Raila Odinga's actions inspired this nation to do more, to be more, to learn more, and to become more. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga was a leader for all Kenyans, even those who did not believe in him. He was a warrior for Kenya. He was our Mandela. Honorable Speaker, you may recall when Mandela was released from prison, he shook hands with his jailers and served in the same government with his jailers. It's the same spirit with which the Honorable Raila Odinga took every time there was a contest, a fierce contest in this country. But every time, those who ridiculed him, those who said words about him, but every time we ended an election, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga sat with the same people and steered this country towards the next level. And that was the man, Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila personified liberation, justice, and the rule of law, epitomized by the coming into force of the new constitution, and that he believed in constitutionality because that's what he thought and believed that this country should be governed on the principles of constitutionalism. In all these warrior accolades, Honorable Speaker, he remained charismatic, approachable, inclusive, mortal, and a remarkable family man, Honorable Speaker. If you had a chat with the Honorable Raila Odinga for as many hours as you will, but in his talk, he will always speak about his family, highly about his family, and say that he's a man, that he is who he was because his family stood by him. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga had a higher purpose for his life. And in that trait, Honorable Speaker, that higher purpose for his life, he picked very many people here from nowhere, Honorable Speaker, and created leaders out of them. Honorable Speaker. A lot of the members of parliament that sit here today, and even former members, Honorable Speaker, owe it to Raila Amolo Odinga that they are here, Honorable Speaker. And that is something we cannot take away from him. Yours truly here, Honorable Speaker. Raila Odinga picked me from my university lecture room. I knew nothing about politics. I didn't even aspire to be a politician. But when I met him, and he encouraged me, and I feared running for a political post. But he encouraged me. Today, I am the leader that my people can depend on because Raila Amolo Odinga made me who I am today. Honorable Speaker, many of us, as we sit here, the same hallowed chamber that the Honorable Raila Odinga sat many years, remember his debates, his contribution, his fierce contests in these chambers, not for himself, not for what he wanted for himself, but what he wanted and inspired for this nation, to make Kenya a great nation. As he lies in state today, and he lies in state in this honorable chamber as Honorable Speaker, we mourn a great man, a man whose spirit, whose life story, Honorable Speaker, describes what Kenya is. And the up and hills, and the hills that this country has gone through, Honorable Speaker, and the progress that we have made as a country can only be described in one statement: we owe it to Raila Amolo Odinga. Finally, Honorable Speaker, I would like to mourn the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga using the words of Elton John on his song, Goodbye England Rose. And I want to say this: goodbye Kenyan Rose. May you ever grow in our hearts. You are the grace that blessed where lives were torn apart. You called out to our country and you whispered to those in pain. Now you belong to heaven and the stars spell out your name. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never fading with the sunset. When the rain set in, and your footsteps will always fall here. Along Kenya's greenest hills, your candles burned out long before your legend ever will. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and ask the Honorable Gesairo to second.
Gesairo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, today we sit here mourning the loss of the father of the second liberation, a man who fought for the constitution that we have today, the freedoms that we enjoy today, the freedom of speech, freedom of expression that we have today, carries the name of the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Honorable Speaker, Raila Amolo Odinga was a man of courage, a man who spoke for what he believed, who walked the talk, and ensured that he gave the rest of the country confidence that there is a better Kenya that is coming. Honorable Speaker, Raila Amolo Odinga was a man who spoke without speaking, a man who led without uttering a word. He was truly an enigma. He always re-emerged when everyone thought that he was down, when everyone thought that he had been vanquished. Baba had a way of coming back.
Have you read a poem by Art Garfunkel called The Sound of Silence?
Not yet, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Raila Amolo Odinga believed in constitutionalism, doing what is right. He believed in fairness. When I became elected as a member of parliament, Honorable Speaker, and I managed to construct my private office in my constituency, I was looking for someone to commission it. Honorable Speaker, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga did agree and honored me to commission it. He did come with Mama Ida. That day, I got to learn a lot about the man Raila Amolo Odinga. He is a man who had the history of this country at his fingertips. As I sat with him in his car, as we drove from where he landed in Mocheno in Kitutu Masaba to Keroka, down Keumbu to Kisii town, the people who came just to have us look at a man who had not even invited them just told me the story of the man, why everybody was touched by him. People loved him. And this country today has lost a person millions of Kenyans, and Kenya as a whole, believed in. A person who spoke, who was their voice, and who fought for them when they felt like they had lost hope. Honorable Speaker, I wouldn't want to speak much because it was a shock to all of us yesterday when we got this news that Baba was no more. It left most of us wondering, what next? Where next? But we're sure that the many sons and daughters he raised politically will carry on the great deeds, the fighting spirit, the vision he had for this country. On behalf of my family, the people of Kitutu Masaba, and myself, I convey our message of condolences to the Odinga family, to the ODM family, and Kenyans as a whole for losing a man who believed in us, who believed in this country. As Baba rests, those of us who remain should carry forth his spirit of fighting for equality, transparency, and a dream of a better Kenya for us, our children, and the generations to come. Honorable Speaker, I thank you and I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question at order number 8, which is that following the presidential proclamation on 15 October 2025 regarding the passing on of the Right Honorable Raila'S Odinga AGH, the former Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, and pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 259D1, the tributes of this House be recorded in honor of the late former Prime Minister's contribution in this House, his selfless service to the Republic of Kenya and the continent of Africa, and for his role in promoting democracy, peace, and stability in Kenya and the region. Before I give the next speaker, allow me, there's some urgent business, to go back to orders numbers 5 and 6 for the Honorable, is Chepkonga here, or is it Owen Baya who is Chepkonga? Who? Kishimo. Yes, to lay some urgent paper on the table and give notice of motion. So call out order number 5.
Order number 5, papers.
Kishimo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and on behalf of the Chairman, Committee on Delegated Registration, Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, 16th October 2025. Report of the Committee on Delegated Registration on its consideration of 1. The Petroleum Business Licensing and Petroleum Logistics Facilities Construction Permit Regulations 2025, legal notice number 95 of 2025. 2, the Petroleum Licensing or Petroleum Road Transportation Business Regulations 2025, legal notice number 96 of 2025. 3, the Petroleum Operating of Common Petroleum Facilities Regulations 2025, legal notice number 97 of 2025. 4, the Petroleum Information and Statistics Regulation 2025, legal notice number 98 of 2025. 5, the Petroleum Lubricants Facility Construction and Licensing Regulation 2025, legal notice number 99 of 2025. 6, the Petroleum Retail Dispensing Site Construction and Licensing Regulations 2025, legal notice number 100 of 2025. 7, the Petroleum Liquefied Petroleum Gas Regulations 2025, legal notice number 101 of 2025. 8, the Regulations Petroleum Information and Statistics Revocation Regulation 2025, legal notice 102 of 2025. 9, the Energy Retail Facility Construction and Licensing Revocation Regulations 2025, legal notice number 103 of 2025, and the Petroleum Products Quality Management Regulations 2025, legal notice number 104 of 2025. I beg to lay, Honorable Speaker.
Next, order number 6.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Kishimo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion: that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of 10 regulations relating to the petroleum sector laid on the table of the House on the Thursday, 16th October 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 18 of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A, announce in entirety the following regulations. 1, the Petroleum Business Licensing and Petroleum Logistics Facility Construction Permit Regulations, legal notice number 95 of 2025. 2, the Petroleum Licensing and Petroleum Road Transport Business Regulations, legal notice number 96 of 2025. 3, the Petroleum Operating Common Petroleum Facilities Regulations, legal notice number 97 of 2025. 4, the Petroleum Information and Statistics Regulations, legal notice number 98 of 2025. 5, the Petroleum Lubricants Facilities Construction and Licensing Regulations, legal notice number 99 of 2025. 6, the Petroleum Retail Dispensing Site Construction and Licensing Regulations, legal notice number 100 of 2025. 7, the Petroleum Liquefied Petroleum Gas Regulations, legal notice number 101 of 2025. 8, the Energy Petroleum Information and Statistics Revocation Regulations, legal notice number 102 of 2025. 9, the Energy Retail Facility Construction and Licensing Revocation Regulations, legal notice number 103 of 2025. And 10, the Petroleum Products Quality Management Regulations, legal notice number 104 of 2025. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. We now go back to the motion. Harold Kipchumba. Yes, Kahangara. Kipchumba, hold. Yes, Kahangara. Give the mic. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm just raising a proposal at the beginning of the debate.
Yes.
That considering what you are seeing at JKIA and the expected number of people who come to view the remains, I am proposing that we limit the number of minutes given to members, probably to 2 minutes, so that as many members as possible. It's a proposal, yes, so that we have as many members, conversing in the morning session, because the afternoon may not be able to go on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Kipchumba, members, do you want to adjust the time allocated? Order. Order. You passed a motion to sit up to midnight. I know that there is an anxious but peaceful crowd out there wanting to see the body of the Prime Minister. The body is not here yet. The body will be here by noon. Those of you who want to speak for 1 minute, do so. Those of you who want to speak for 2 minutes, do so. Kipchumba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to pay tribute to my friend and leader. I first met Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
Yes, member for Kapchai.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise on point of order 83 to know if it is in order for a ranking member to divide the Speaker's direction yesterday, Honorable Bosin, and come dressed like that, Mr. Speaker, now that Honorable Wario has just left to go and change and become well-dressed, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Singh, the point of order is legitimate. Go on, Kipchumba, search your mind and do the right thing. You don't have to answer.
Thank you.
Go on.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to pay tribute to a friend.
What is it, Posing?
Honorable Speaker, I heard your directive very clearly, Honorable Speaker. But people, and you must also appreciate I come from a culture and a community. Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, I supported him in the last election. And where I come from, Honorable Speaker, when a king dies, you don't dress black, you dress light because you appreciate that person, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you know it's
Order.
God. Honorable Speaker.
Order, Posing.
Let me say this.
Take your seat. Take your seat. To begin with, I know the anthropology of every community in Kenya. What you are saying is not correct. Go on, Kipchumba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to pay tribute to my friend and leader, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, the person I first met in the corridors of cells in 1986 while fighting for democracy. I was picked as a suspect of the FARA movement then. And since we met, he looked at me and wondered how a police officer would handcuff a person on crutches. And we became friends. It is hard to put into words what Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga means to me, not just as a leader, but as a friend. I have seen in him strength that is silent, patience that does not waver, and a belief in people that never fades, even in times that are rough. Mr. Speaker, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga has carried the weight of Kenya on his shoulders more times than anyone should have done. Yet, he still walked with hope, still laughed, still listened, and still dreamt of a Kenya that would live up to its promise of being a great nation. That kind of faith is rare. Mr. Speaker, sir, to me, Right Honorable Raila Odinga has been more than a political figure. He was a teacher of history, democracy, good governance, social justice in this country. He has always provided me with a shoulder to lean on and inspired in me resilience to overcome extremely challenging occasions, a mirror for courage, a role model for integrity and assurance that patriotism is not a slogan, it is a way of life. Mr. Speaker, sir, Honorable Raila, his journey has inspired us to keep pushing, to keep believing, and to never trade truth for convenience. Thank you, Honorable Raila, for showing us what leadership looks like when it is grounded in love for the people and country. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Right Honorable Raila, I call him Baba, showed great love to persons with disabilities whom he constantly nurtured politically and helped them climb to their highest political heights, both in Orange Democratic Movement Party and the Houses of Parliament. At a personal level, my family and I wish to record our most sincere appreciation for his assistance to me and my son at very difficult moments in our lives when we needed medical attention both inside and outside Kenya. After a fatal road accident involving me and my son in 2013, he mobilized and paid for the top neurosurgeons in the country to manage my son. Even when my nomination to the Senate was nullified, he stood by both morally and financially to date. This lasted for the period 2013 to the time of my current nomination to the National Assembly, which he wholeheartedly supported and facilitated, notwithstanding the fact that I came from a community that did not significantly support our party, ODM. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, sir, let me end by...
Give him 30 seconds to end.
Let me end by quoting the last message by Honorable Raila Odinga to me last Sunday, 12th October 2025 at 9:13 a.m., where he wrote, "Thank you, my brother, for standing with the party in Baringo. I will always cherish this personal affection and recognition. Fare thee well, my friend, Right Honorable Baba." Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Member for Bumula. Wamboka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It is indeed difficult to mourn a friend, a father, to all of us and to the nation. When my friend Wafula Buke called me yesterday morning of the passing of Raila Odinga, I did not believe, Honorable Speaker. It looked like a normal joke, April Fool's Day. It looked like something will happen and Raila Odinga will be back. It is very difficult. We mourn a very courageous man. I admired the courage of Raila Amolo Odinga from when I was a young boy. What Raila has been able to do for this country in very difficult times, Honorable Speaker. We remember him for liberating this country when no one could dare speak to the government, at the government. Raila Odinga did, and that is why we enjoy this peace that we have today democratically. I remember Raila's courage, Honorable Speaker. After election, we had maandamano. One day, one time, before we set out for the streets, Honorable Speaker, we were in a room with the other party leaders, now deciding which routes to use, Honorable Speaker. I remember one party leader said, no, outside is bad. They are going to kill us. And it looked like all the other leaders were not ready to go that route. Raila Odinga told them, you will find me there. Let me die if I have to die for this country. He was a courageous man. Honorable Speaker, Raila Odinga, during campaigns, came to campaign for me in Bumula constituency. And at that time, I was standing on DAP, my party, DAP Kenya. There was an ODM candidate in my constituency. Raila Odinga instructed the Honorable Junet Mohammed to pull down the ODM candidate in my favor, Honorable Speaker. I know it has not been easy for many people to get any money from Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga supported my campaign with 3.5 million, Honorable Speaker. I am the chairman of PIC, Honorable Speaker, in this house because of Raila Amolo Odinga. I know I'm a first-time MP. I'm not a ranking member. I could not be the best. I may not be the best. But Raila Odinga saw it important and fit that I sit and chair PIC, Honorable Speaker. It is very difficult to mourn such a man. During the impeachment motion I sponsored against the Honorable Mithika Linturi, Honorable Speaker, it was not very easy. Being the first impeachment motion, post-2010 Constitution, Honorable Speaker. It was a first in its kind. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know how to head. Raila Odinga gave me a lot of courage. Raila Odinga told me, young man, this is your first cup. I have so many cups. This is your first cup. He gave me lawyers to support me in the impeachment, Honorable Speaker. I want to believe that Raila Odinga is dead, but that which he stood for.
Yes, Honorable Odanga, what's the point of order?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to remind my son here, you know he's my son and a member for Bumula, that his motion was, impeachment motion was not the first post-2010. I did sponsor one for the removal of, yes, Honorable Jacob Kaimenyi. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Chair, add me one minute.
Thank
you, Mocha.
Wind up. Wind up.
Honorable Speaker, it is very difficult to mourn Raila Odinga. He has left very many orphans, and I'm one of them, Honorable Speaker. I feel it in my heart. But Raila Odinga, you are gone. We will not let you down. Fare thee well, Raila Amolo Odinga.
Murugara George.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, yesterday was a dark day. A dark cloud fell over our country, and by the time it started fading away, the sad news were broken to us that the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, was no more, and that he had rested. The country was plunged into mourning, led by His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and everyone. And even as we convey these messages this morning, the entire country is actually mourning. The Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga is just about to be walked into this house so that he can lay in state and we are able to pay his last respects. But before we do that, allow me, Mr. Speaker, on my own behalf, on behalf of my family, and on behalf of the great people of Tharaka constituency, Tharaka Nithi County, to convey my deepest and most sincere condolences to the family of the late Right Honorable Amolo Raila Odinga, to his wife, Ida, his two daughters, Rosemary and Winnie, his son, Raila Jr., and the patriarch of the family, Dr. Oburu Oginga, and the sister, who is also our colleague here, Ruth Odinga. Indeed, we will remember the good days of the late Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga with nostalgia because of what he has done for this country up to the last day when he actually rested in peace. Allow me, Honorable Speaker, to draw some analogies between the father and the son. We all know that Raila Amolo Odinga was the son of the doyen of opposition politics in the country, the late Adonijah Oginga Odinga, whom we reverently referred to as the Jaramogi. Indeed, it's extremely proud for one to be like his father. Both were selfless persons who would sacrifice everything for the sake of the country, Kenya. For example, the senior Jaramogi declared publicly, without blinking an eyelid, to the white man that there would actually be no independence to this country without Jomo Kenyatta. Purely selfless, when he knew for sure that he would have actually taken the reins of power to rule the country in the absence of Kenyatta. On the same shoe, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga in 2002 declared Kibaki Tosha when he knew for sure he would have contested and possibly won the election. This is what is known as selflessness par excellence. Similarly, even the tribulations, the travails all went through were similar. Detained purely because they were advocating for good governance in the country. With those remarks, it is important to say that like father, like son, Raila Amolo Odinga strode the country, strode East Africa, strode the continent of Africa and the world like a colossus, advocating for good governance, democracy, human rights, and justice. We will remember the former Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga, as the doyen of devolution and democracy in Kenya. Allow me to go back to your adage. Raila Amolo Odinga is dead today, but long live Raila Amolo Odinga, Tinga, Baba, and all the acronyms we have reverently given to the former Prime Minister.
Cynthia Muge.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity not to just eulogize the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, but to also acknowledge his immense contribution that he made to this country in democracy, in the fight for unity and freedom. Honorable Speaker, the late Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga stood for many things, and I'm a beneficiary of some of the things that he stood for. In the Constitution of Kenya and the issues of devolution, Honorable Speaker, I was first elected in the County Assembly of Nandi, which is a creation of the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, and he stood for it. Honorable Speaker, we mourn today a man whose immense contribution into the development of this country cannot be wished away. And Honorable Speaker, I want to remember the late Raila Amolo Odinga in his journey that he has demonstrated a number of times that leadership is not about privilege, but it is about service. And Honorable Speaker, I must remember the late Raila Amolo Odinga for inspiring and giving hope to the young people to fight for a freer nation, to fight for a better Kenya. Honorable Speaker, we reflect on his immense contribution, not only to honor this man, but to also ensure that we continue to nurture democracy and unity of this country. May his soul rest in peace, and may his family, the spouse, Mama Ida, the children, Honorable Speaker, and the people that he made. Raila Amolo Odinga made hundreds of politicians in this country, and he has held their hands through the political terrain, and we appreciate him for the immense contribution. On behalf of the people of Nandi, we say, fare thee well, Raila Amolo Odinga. Your spirit will continue living on in the generations that you taught and mentored in this country, Kenya. May his soul rest in peace.
Member for Westlands.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me take this opportunity also to eulogize and pay tribute to my great political mentor, Raila Amolo Odinga. Honorable Speaker, the year 2007, when Right Honorable Raila Odinga was running for the presidency, he nominated me as one of his proposers. Mr. Speaker, I was not known to him very much, but he picked me and gave me an opportunity to be among the few people who proposed him to be the president of Kenya. After that, Mr. Speaker, he also nominated me to Nairobi City Council, and when he was doing that, he assured me he wanted me to be the mayor of Nairobi. But Mr. Speaker, the rest is history. After that, that's how he nurtured my political career, and ever since, I have walked, I have listened to him, I have learned a lot from him. He's a selfless man. He loves this nation, Mr. Speaker. Raila Amolo Odinga can dine with the lowest and can dine with the mighty, as you mentioned in your speech, Mr. Speaker. Raila Amolo Odinga, you can find him in Bama eating nyama choma. You can find him in Shaurimoyo sitting on a bench drinking whiskey with very common manage, and you can find him in Serena or any other place. He's a man who can attract, and he has attracted many, many people. 1997, Mr. Speaker, I know there were many Kenyans who will dismiss him, but 2002, when he pronounced Kibaki Tosha, a selfless man, he sacrificed his ambition and supported Honorable Mwai Kibaki even after he was involved in an accident and he was away from the campaign. Raila took up the mantle and championed the campaign of Mwai Kibaki, and Mwai Kibaki was elected as the president of this country. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, several times I believe Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga won the election of 2007, and it was stolen from him. But Mr. Speaker, he sacrificed his ambition, stepped back, and worked with Honorable Mwai Kibaki. 2013, same thing, 2017, 2022. Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has put this nation before anything else. And that is the man, Mr. Speaker. I know there's nobody who can sacrifice such opportunities. Even the people he was sitting with, Mr. Speaker, many of them could not believe in what he was saying. He makes very difficult decisions and sometimes very unpopular. And when he made the decision now to work with President Ruto, everybody dismissed him and said he is greedy, he is what. But Mr. Speaker, look what he did. He realized the country was going the wrong way and he wanted to get Kenya back on the road. Honorable Speaker, Raila Amolo Odinga is not just another person. He is a statesman. He's a Pan-Africanism. He has championed, if you look at our constitution today, devolution is his dream. And he kept on making sure that devolution is perfected. More money is given to the devolved governments. And Mr. Speaker, he was recently, when he was even pushing that the CDF also be given to the the county government, I think it was uncomfortable with many people, but he didn't mince his words. He was very clear what he wanted. And Mr. Speaker, we, on behalf of the people of Westlands and my family, and on my own behalf and the family and the people of Westlands, I pay tribute to the great son of Kenya who has passed on. May his soul rest in peace. May he join the great men, Masinde Muliro, Raila, Okinga Odinga, Kenyatta, Kibaki, those who have gone before us, Michael Malwa, and Mr. Speaker, we know Kenya will stand among the big nations on the sacrifice that Raila Odinga has made. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Badi Twalib.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia fursa hii pia ili na mimi kuweza kutuma rambirambi kwa kifo cha Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa niaba yangu, kwa niaba ya familia yangu na kwa niaba ya watu wangu wa Jomvu, twatoa rambirambi sote kwa familia ya Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nilimfahamu Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga mwaka 2007 nilipochaguliwa kuwa diwani wa Jomvu Kuu Ward katika chama cha ODM, na niliweza kuintroduce kwa Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga na mbunge wangu Mheshimiwa Ramadhan Seif Kajembe. Leo Mheshimiwa Spika, nachukua fursa hii kusema kuwa tumeondokewa na mgogo wa kisiasa, tumeondokewa na baba, tumeondokewa na mtu ambaye alijitolea katika kuhudumikia serikali hii ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, nachukua fursa hii ya kumwomboleza Mheshimiwa Raila, pia vile vile kuomboleza vijana wangu watatu waliokufa kwa maji kwa bahari juzi, Caleb Otieno miaka 21, Stephen Karembo 23 na Thomas Wanyongi ambaye ni miaka 24. Hawa walikufa maji juzi. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, naweza kusema mwezi huu wa 10 ni mwezi mgumu sana kwangu, kwa maana baada ya kupoteza hawa watu watatu, jana ghafla tupata Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga ameweza kutuacha. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni miezi miwili iliyopita ama mitatu, Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga alikuwa kwangu sehemu ya Miritini akianzisha ECD Center ambayo alialikwa na Mheshimiwa Gavana wetu. Mheshimiwa Spika, tutamkumbuka Mheshimiwa Raila kwa mengi. Leo ugatuzi umeweza kufanya kazi thamana na Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Leo uhuru wa kuongea, watu wanaweza kuongea thamana na Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Leo Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga ameweka ndoto za watu wengi katika kuonekana kuwa na mwelekeo wa kuweza kwenda mbele. Mimi Mheshimiwa Spika, naweza kusema nilichaguliwa kama diwani 2007. Nimeanza kuwa mbunge 2013, 17 na 22. Vipindi vitatu vyote naweza kusema kwa kizungu role model wangu alikuwa ni Raila Amolo Odinga. Leo katika maisha ambao tunajaribu kuongoza, tunajaribu kumuiga Raila Amolo Odinga. Kwa maana hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, Raila Amolo Odinga ni mpenzi wa wengi. Hata leo nikija hapa, kuna kijana anaitwa Joseph Oluoch na vile vile Kibonge kutoka Bangladesh wakinambia la utapata nafasi, toa pia rambirambi zetu uweze kututaja. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, leo mimi ni kusema kwa ni siku ya huzuni, na mimi maadamu nimepata fursa hii nasema tena kwa niaba yangu, familia yangu na eneo langu bunge la Jomvu, tutoa rambirambi kwa familia ya Raila Amolo Odinga na chama chetu cha ODM, na kuiambia familia kuwa Mungu atawapa subra na Mungu akifanya kazi yake haina makosa. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, na Mungu ambariki Raila Amolo.
Rahim.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to pay tribute to Honorable Raila. Honorable Raila, I met him 20 years back in Meru when he came for the Orange and Bananas campaign. I don't know if, Mr. Speaker, you were with the delegation that day. And I remember them going into Pig and Whistle. There was a hotel called Pig and Whistle. After they came out, there were rain of stones on them. And my petrol station was just opposite where they were going to hold a rally. And I remember Honorable Raila, when his speech on that day was, because the rain of stones was so much that he said, "Nyinyi wa Meru mutalia nikiingia nikiwa rais." And then from there, that was the first time I encountered tear gas in my whole life, and that's when my political career started. After that, he went to Makutano and then Maua, and that was then. After that, we came on the same side. I was on the other side. I was for the banana, and he was for the orange at that time. They beat us hands down in the referendum of 2005. But we got back again with Honorable Raila in the one we have, the Constitution 2010, in the referendum. We were on the same side. And again, we were on the same side when we did the BBI referendum, which we failed, but we were together then. And again, when in 2021, I was on his side. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Raila is an enigma, he's Baba, he's everything. And I believe to get somebody like him will take a long, long time. I don't think we will ever get somebody who has gone to detention, who has suffered for this country, and the way he has sacrificed himself. Had Honorable Raila not come through last year to form the broad-based government, I think we would have gone the Madagascar way or the Nepal way or anywhere else. So Honorable Raila did a big favor to this country. The Gen Zs should not think that he betrayed them. He made sure this country, we are safe, and where we are today, we owe it to Honorable Raila Odinga. And I believe with what is happening today, we need to give him a befitting sending. And I say, God bless him. Revelations 14:13 says, the dead who die in the Lord, the rest from their labors and their deeds will follow them. Inna lillahi wa inna ilahi raji'un. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, and I request members avoid coming to me, stacking pressure. I don't want pressure from members. I'll follow the list that is here. The way the speaker was doing is what I'll do. Please, I request members to avoid approaching the speaker's chair. Please. I always do that, you know that, and it's what I'm going to do now. So if you come here, probably you'll even make your chances to go further. So let's just follow the way it is. The next in the list here now is the Honorable Ndikiri Mugambi.
Very good, that's the correct. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for that observation. I arise on behalf of the great people of Bori to eulogize the great man of this republic, late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, I met Honorable Prime Minister in 2007. Mr. Speaker, through his brother, Dr. Bulu, who is a very close friend to me, when I was a chief guest at DB Primary School in Bondo. Mr. Speaker, my first sight of this great man gave me an impression of a man who is caring. Mr. Speaker, I made an observation that the outside of Raila is not the inside of him. And I want to state that the inside of Raila is a very soft man, very caring person, very considerate, person who does not entertain conflict, somebody who is always on the path of looking for solutions, particularly for this country. Mr. Speaker, I arise to console with the family headed by my great friend, Dr. Uhuru, Mama Inda and the children, and the entire fraternity of Odinga family. It is through Dr. Uhuru and Amolo Odinga that I met our colleague, Ruth Odinga, who is a member of this parliament. Mr. Speaker, in as much as we say anything, this man has died without being given an opportunity by Kenyans to serve this nation at the greatest level as a president. But what he has done and what he has stood for is something that we, all of us, need to emulate. We mourn this man whose soul has already departed, but his legacy will remain forever. I ask my colleagues, I ask other people in the political leaderships, on the parties, that if we have a case study of a statement, it is carried by none other than His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, Amolo Odinga. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Bondo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as the nation and the world mourn the great Raila Odinga, let it be understood that that is my constituency by local appraisal. He is my mentor. He was my first employer in a row. So the kind of experience that I've had with Raila spans beyond 30 years, to be exact, 34 years. And we've been with him almost at a very personal kind of an arrangement and a relationship over the years. Honorable Raila didn't just get to parliament the way many of us do. It was a great effort by a group of us, a small group of us, because that time Raila himself was in exile. Raila didn't campaign, he was not in the country, and if at all there's any other person who has ever gotten into this parliament, minus campaigning, is Raila Amolo Odinga. He did that by virtue of the work that we were doing. I'm the one who went out meeting the small groups with Ida, with Joe Aguirre, a small group headed by Okiri Pacho as the chair, Shem Akuba, William Okelo, and a small, we're not more than 10. We did that, and Raila got into parliament in 1992 without stepping in the constituency in the name of doing a rally. Fortunately, he didn't know many of the people. He didn't know even where the polling stations were. So that was our effort. Come 1995, when there were issues in Fort Kenya, Raila crossed and actually crossed the floor because he left his party and took another party called NDP. NDP, because of that, had to go for a by-election. So what I did, or what the small group of us did in 1992, we remember it because now Raila could not move to the constituency the way he had wanted, because me at that time had left back to the university for my master's. And he had to come to literally look for us. And that's when Raila got back to parliament in the by-election of 1995. One or two things that I'm too sure that maybe members may not be knowing of Raila. A lot of the things that Raila did a lot of actions and decisions that Raila implemented, many of them he was not the planner. Many of them he was not initiating. But he had an exceptional courage once convinced.
The honorable members,
anytime.
Order. This is a very solemn moment. And I think it's fair to allow the member of parliament for Bondo, who is also the Raila Odinga's member of parliament, to be listened to. It's a solemn moment. It's not a moment where someone will be contributing and we are all not giving him a chance to, or we are all, doing whatever we are doing. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What I was trying to say is that a lot of things that we might have seen Raila do, many times was not the planner, many times was not the initiator. But the courage and the manner in which, when he was convinced he was taking these things, by the end of the day, they were his things. By the end of the day, they were his activities. And he did them with a lot of courage. The other thing that maybe other members may not know is that Raila was a person who did a lot of multitasking. In fact, if you booked for an appointment and you are talking to him, one person on a phone, your appointment will collapse. He's one person that when he was talking to 3, 4, 5 people, definitely that's a thing that will pass. He used to multitask a lot. He was a man of crisis. In fact, many times Raila managed the crisis as though he was planning to manage them. It was very unique in terms of crisis management. Finally, Mr. Speaker, when it got to the issue of how it looked at the principle in sporting, of the issue of the winner and the loser. Many times as a sportsman, a great sportsman, he placed in front of him the principle that once you are in a game, you'll either lose or you'll win. And that's exactly what he had all along. When he went into the games, in the political game, when there was a loss, he will recognize that. And that is exactly why he didn't believe so much in this idea of winner takes it all. He didn't believe in it because after elections, he had wanted that the nation gets back to its feet and that winning government serves everybody. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well said. Next is the member for Aldai.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to eulogize a great man, Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. My sympathies go to the family, Mama Aida, the family, the people of ODM, the broad-based government, and the people of Kenya. We have lost a great man. We have lost a hero, a person who today we celebrate and we are happy about democracy because he is the father of democracy. I think we all remember right from the 82 coup all the way to 1992, to 2010, to the birth of the 2010 Constitution, and in each time, Raila Amolo Odinga fought hard for the democracy of this country, for the freedoms that we today enjoy in this country. Many young people today talk about and are happy to participate in the democracies of this country, and they forget that the real person or the person who brought this democracy is Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. We want to say thank you for what he did, and we say that he did a great job. The history of this Kenya will be, when the history of this Kenya will be written, his name will be will forever appear in the history as being the person who fought for this country and fought for the nation. I want to say that the people of Aldai constituency say pole to the family, and we as we mourn the death of Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, and we want to say may his soul rest in eternal peace. Goodbye, Baba. Thank you.
Thank you. So that you know, the next people, the only to speak are going to be the following, as per the board. Next is the member for Nambale, followed by the member for Dagoretti South, then the member for Butula. Those three in that order. Member for Nambale.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to speak, pay my tribute to Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, as it has been said, Raila is a true father of democracy in this nation. Many people have said that indeed, sometimes in the year 1994, when Raila disagreed with the ideologies of Ford Kenya, he formed his party
NDP and did the right thing, which was to surrender his seat and go back for a by-election. Mr. Speaker, this is a decision very few politicians, and actually is the only one since that time that has made this particular decision, so that you obey the institutions and the democratic space that is placed in our nation. Mr. Speaker, as many will remember, Raila has been a tower of politics in this nation. Whenever things are not moving right, Raila will always abandon his position and go for the position that suits the interest of the greater nation. Mr. Speaker, coming from Busia County, Raila was indeed a true father of our great county of Busia. Anytime we met, he had fond memories of how he would wish development reach Busia County. And he will mention to you things that he feels that are supposed to be done and carried out so that the great people of Busia can benefit from the leadership of the government. Mr. Speaker, it has also been said that he was indeed a beacon of courage. We know that very few leaders in this nation will speak their mind the way the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga used to. He will always say the right thing, whether he's attacking the government or even to his fellow opposition leaders. So, Mr. Speaker, as a nation, we have lost, and on behalf of the people of Nambale and the great people of our nation, I lay my condolence to the family of the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Thank you.
Thank you. Member for the South.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, how do you even start to eulogize a man of the stature of the Right Honorable Engineer Dr. Raila Amolo Odinga? A man who, he himself, was a force of nature. A man who moved the crowds with a charisma unimaginable. A man who dedicated his entire life to his country. A patriot who you can place many charges on, but can never place the charge of unpatriotism on the man. Mr. Speaker, this man that we eulogize today must be known as the father of opposition in this country, taking over from his dad, who was his blood father, who is also known as the Doyen of opposition. Mr. Speaker, I stand here on behalf of my family and the people of the Dagoretti South constituency to pass my condolences to the family of this great Kenyan, because the world has lost an icon. Africa has lost an enigma. Kenya has lost a leader. To me personally, Mr. Speaker, I have lost a political father. Mr. Speaker, I met the late former Prime Minister as a very young man when he used to be a youth leader within the Ajip House, campaigning for his father, Mr. Speaker, when the original Ford was formed. When Raila was a young man is when I met him. Later on, Mr. Speaker, I went on to be a youth leader in his party. I was the first national president of the ODM Youth League. When I met Raila, he was at his prime. That Raila who would capture people just with his greetings. The man who would walk into these rallies and he would lift one hand and he would say, "Haya, haya," and the world would go silent. And he would lay out the history of the country to the people. And when he had captured the attention of these crowds, he would end it on a high. Tendawili, tendawili. Mr. Speaker, this is the gentleman that I eulogize. A man who picked me up when I was trying my skills in politics as a young man, took me to Dagoretti,
introduced me to the people of Dagoretti, delivered an election for me in an election that he himself also won. Mr. Speaker, Raila Odinga won the election of 2007. But try as we did to swear him in, this gentleman told us that even as we are approaching the election of 2007, we will have to be cautious to ensure that we leave a country for the future. Mr. Speaker, I want to pass my condolences to my colleague, the Honorable Ruth Odinga, our colleague in Senate, the youth leader, the Gen Z himself, Dr. Uhuru Odinga, to the children, Rosemary, Winnie, Junior, and posthumously, my very good friend, Fidel Odinga. Here, we want to thank this family for sharing such a consummate patriot with Kenyans. When Kenya called him Baba, we meant it. But we know that he was the blood father of these children who had given up their father, committed him to the service of nation. And today, we mourn a great Kenyan. And as I said, Mr. Speaker, the world mourns a great icon. Kenya will be mourning an enigma, and so will Africa. But for me, Mr. Speaker, I want to eulogize a great patriot who also happened to be my political father. Raila Odinga is dead. Long live Baba. Haya! Haya!
Thank you.
Haya! Tendawili! 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 Tunasema hiyo mambo yote iko sawa, hata kama Raila ameondoka, rais Baba ataishi milele. Iko sawa.
Thank you. Thank you. The member for Butula.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand here on behalf of my family, my great people of Butula, and the entire ODM fraternity to eulogize a great leader of this nation. Honorable Speaker, the late Raila was a father, was a leader, and he did guide some of us very well. Mr. Speaker, I first got into contact with the late Raila when he was the Minister for Roads and Public Works. That time I was in Treasury, Mr. Speaker, and he used to call me to give him certain information that he needed to enable him carry out his work as a minister in the ministry. Honorable Speaker, our relationship went on, and when I reached my retirement, Honorable Raila called me to his office and asked me if I could join the ODM party. So on my retirement, Honorable Speaker, I joined the ODM party through the advice of the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Honorable Speaker, Raila has helped us, the people of Butula, to get development. Any project that has been successful in my constituency, Raila's hand can be seen. Particularly when we were to get a road to be tarmacked. By that time, he was the Minister for Transport. He confirmed to me that he will make sure our road is tarmacked. By then, I was still in the office. So from there, he was very close. He was asking anything that we want in Butula, we give him, and for sure, he has helped us a lot to get the development, not only in Butula, but also in the entire Busia County. Honorable Speaker, the late Raila will be remembered dearly by the people of Butula and the people of Busia. Anytime there was arrangement for Honorable Raila to come to Busia. People came out in big numbers. Everybody wanted to be close to him. And he was calm, he addressed people, and everybody was happy with his guidance, his advice. And he always told people, be peaceful and work hard. So he made us work hard for the benefit of our people of Butula. Honorable Speaker, we eulogize a great leader and an icon in African politics, and a person who is loved all over the country. He did much for this country, and his name will not be erased in any records of this country. We will keep remembering him. It will be difficult to erase the name of Raila from our people. We will continue remembering him, and I want to send my condolences to the family, particularly the wife, Ida, the children, and the brother, Honorable Dr. Uhuru Odinga, who is also my great friend, and the entire ODM fraternity. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Member for Matuga.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia fursa hii. Niruhusu kwanza nianze na aya ya Quran tukufu, sura Al-Imran aya ya 185 inayosema kulu nafsi zaikatul maut, kwamba kila nafsi iliyoko hai itaionja mauti. Tukiwa hapa sisi sote tutaonja mauti, na wale ambao pia tukiwa hapa tunajua kwamba wapo ambao Mwenyezi Mungu ameweza kuchukua nafsi zao. Lakini kwa nini leo tumechukua fursa hii kuzungumzia nafsi moja ya Raila Amolo Odinga? Hii ni nafsi moja, ni mtu mmoja ambaye katika halaiki ya watu, yeye peke yake ndio watu waliamua kumuita baba. Sikumbuki hata sehemu moja ama siku moja ambayo yeye alisema kwamba niiteni baba. Lakini watu wenyewe kwa yale ambayo ameyafanya, yale ambayo ameyatenda, yale ambayo anayozungumza, wakaona huyu ndiye baba yetu. Kila mtu alizaliwa na babake na mama yake, lakini watu wenyewe wakaamua hivyo. Sisi watu wa Pwani tumemwenzi baba. Tunajua siasa kutoka zilipoanza, kura hupigwa, lakini kwa ujumla watu wote wa Pwani humpigia baba. Na kwa nini inakuwa hivyo? Inakuwa hivyo kwa sababu baba Raila Amolo Odinga amekuwa akizungumza sauti ya wanyonge. Alikuwa akizungumzia maonevu ambayo watu wa Pwani kwa ujumla wamepitia kabla ya uhuru na baada ya uhuru. Alikuwa akizungumzia masuala ya mashamba. Alikuwa akizungumzia masuala ya ajira kwa wale watu ambao huwa hawapati nafasi za kupanda ngazi za juu. Kwa hivyo kwa watu wa Pwani kwa ujumla na kwa Wakenya wengi, walikuwa ndio sauti ya wanyonge, kwamba baba akisema amewazungumzia watu wengi. Na ndio maana kumbukumbu zinasema hata wakati tukitaka kubadilisha katiba kwa mara ya kwanza na yeye akakataa, watu wengi walisema vile baba amesoma, sisi hatuna haja ya kusoma, moja kwa moja pia sisi tunakataa. Mheshimiwa Spika, miezi miwili iliyopita tukiwa tunapeana mradi pale wa umeme na Mheshimiwa Waziri Wandai, tukiendelea na hizo sherehe, Waziri Wandai aliweza kunong'onezea kwamba nimepigiwa simu na baba akiniambia kwamba katika eneo lako bunge kuna shule ambayo imetajwa Jaramogi Oginga, na ameniamrisha kwamba kabla nitoke Matuga niende kuiona hii shule. Baada ya hiyo sherehe tuliambatana na waziri mpaka kule sehemu ya Mazumalume ambayo hii shule ipo, ambayo nimeweza kuijenga kupitia mfuko wa NGCDF. Lakini kuna historia kwa nini hii shule imejengwa pale. Mzee marehemu bila shaka ambaye babake alikuwa katika wale watu ambao alipigania uhuru, aliwahi kukaa na baba yake Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, mwenda zake Jaramogi, mpaka kukaa nyumbani kwake Simba. Na hapo basi akasema, mimi kabla nife nitapeana eka 10 ili kujengwe shule na itajwe Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Na tulipofika pale, baada ya kuiona, waziri wa ndai akazungumza na baba na akamwambia baba alikuwa amemwamrisha kati ya yale madarasa 2 ambayo nitaongezea hii shule, yeye pia atapeana pesa kutoka kwa mfuko wake ili ile shule iweze kuimarika. Baba ameenda, lakini nina imani kwa sababu waziri wa ndai yupo, bado hiyo ahadi itatekelezwa. Na huo ndio upendo wa baba ambao alikuwa nao kwa wananchi wa Kenya, wananchi wanyonge, kuwapenda bila kuwabagua. Na ndio maana watu wa pwani wakawa wakati wote wanasimama na yeye bila ya vishawishi, ila tu kwa sababu ya sauti wake na moyo wake mkunjufu. Kwa niaba yangu na watu wa Matuga na familia yangu natoa rambirambi. Mwenyezi Mungu aweze kuangalia roho yake kwa huruma kulingana na matendo yake mema aliyoyafanya. Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Asante. Honorable Dorothy Ikiara.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, today...
Order. Honorable members, don't block the aisle. The members blocking the aisle. Order. Order, the honorable members blocking the aisle. Take your seat.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, today we gather to celebrate alumni whose steadfast devotion not only forged our nation's destiny, but also illuminated the world's stage. Rooted in unyielding belief in justice, democracy, and unity, he faced every trial with fearless resolve and profound humility, embodying the true essence of exemplary leadership. Though his presence has passed from us, his legacy shines onwards, a radiant beacon engraved deep within the hearts of his people and echoing across the globe. As we honor his remarkable journey, we are compelled to carry forth this vision, a relentless pursuit of justice, peace, and unity for humanity. Together, we celebrate Baba, champion of devolution, champion of democracy. Baba, you have fought a good fight, you have finished the race. Fare thee well, Baba, till we meet again. My condolences to Mama Ida Odinga and the entire Odinga's family, not forgetting our colleague Ruth Odinga and all the citizens of this country who believed in Baba. Fare thee well till we meet again. Thank you.
Honorable members, as I resume the seat, it's important to notify the House and the rest of the citizens that the viewing of the body of the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga will no longer be at Parliament because of the overwhelming crowds that have literally overwhelmed our facilities. The committee of the funeral, chaired by the Deputy President and Senator Dr. Uhuru Odinga, have announced that the body will now be taken to Kasarani for the public to view, for the simple reason that it was even difficult to get the remains of the Prime Minister out of the airport. So Lee Funeral, understand, were contracted to go and embalm the body at the airport. And it will be airlifted now from the airport to Kasarani. And those of you, particularly Nairobi MPs, please take the responsibility as much as you possibly can to inform your constituents that they can slowly snake to Kasarani to go and view the body. Nyayo Stadium could not be an alternative because it's being prepared for the state funeral tomorrow. So let's go on with our debate. Any one of you who will want to go and view the body after I've spoken, you can also snake through to Kasarani. But tomorrow, like I informed you, the clerk and our protocol team are preparing to have sitting space for each and every one of you at the stadium tomorrow to join the proceedings for the state funeral. I'm told the next speaker was the member for Tarbo. Yes. Is he in the house? Yes, Janet Setienei.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish on behalf of my family and the people of Tarbo to pass my condolences to Mama Ida, the children, our colleagues, Honorable Ruth and Senator Oburu, and the entire Raila family. I wish to give my tribute to Honorable Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, alias Baba. He was the icon of democracy, peace, and stability. He was a charismatic leader and a statesman. The first time I met Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga was at Wilson Airport. And I stood to introduce myself to him, and I was surprised when he shoved me down and said, "I know you are the member of parliament of Tarbo." And I was very surprised because I didn't know that he actually knows many of the leaders. I wish to say he was a charismatic leader, and he is one of the people that fought for democracy in this country. I wish also, as I mourn him today, I wish to call upon all Kenyans to remember that they are the people that fought for democracy in this country, and therefore, as we remain, we pray for him as he rests in peace. And may we remember as Kenyans that this country is larger or bigger than all of us, and may we maintain peace and stability in this country. And may his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this chance. Honorable Speaker, I rise to eulogize the maverick, the enigma, the icon of Kenyan politics, the doyen just like his father, Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga can be remembered for many things, but I want to say I personally remember him for his honesty. He was a very honest politician. He was a politician who would not lie to you. If you are asking something and you can't get it, Raila Amolo Odinga will tell you that he's unable to give you that one, but you can get the alternative. I remember vividly when I vied in 2017 and had wanted to be in the ODM party. And my local ODM chairman, Sebetio Sabwa, brought me to Nairobi at Capitol Hill. And at Capitol Hill, we met Raila Amolo Odinga. And he actually believed I could make it. But back at home, there was leadership within the party that did not think so. And therefore, what he did was to make a public call and put it on speaker. And in front of Sebeto Sabo and others, the people who did not want me to be in the party said, "We don't want Omboko." And when the discussion ended, Raila told me, "You have heard, so you can see what to do." And that's how I left. Very honest person. I remember vividly, Honorable Speaker, in 2022, when we had the Azimio and the other collision, and we arrived and we met Raila Amolo Odinga together with Atuoli, together with Oparanya, and the former president, and we were being given chance to make a decision on what to do. I entered with Honorable Sabula. And he was so honest. When Sabula was asked, "What do you want?" He said, I want to be governor. He was told, no, I've already given out the ticket. Maybe you can be a deputy. I hope he's listening to me. That was so honest. I was asked my question, and when I gave my answer, which I'm guilty to say, I was just told the meeting was over, and it ended there. We went away. This was a very honest leader in politics. I want to remember Raila Amolo Odinga for peace and tranquility. That this is a man who would look at the holistic picture instead of looking at the personal benefits. We cannot ignore the KANU merger as we saw it when everybody thought that Raila could not work with Moi. We cannot forget the Kibaki stalemate when it looked like, yes, we want Moi out, but Moi has brought another candidate. So what do? He surrendered his place and said, Kibaki tosha. And that is how Kibaki became the president. And they worked together very, very, very well. And remember, even during that particular time, Honorable Speaker, he had had very tough wars with Kijana Wamalwa in Thika, but still he embraced Kijana Wamalwa because Wamalwa was now the deputy of Kibaki, and they still worked together. This guy had a big heart in politics. We cannot forget his handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, and we cannot forget his handshake with Ruto. Honestly speaking, Raila Amolo Odinga and the family, if we refer back to the father, they seem to have the same spirit. Because in 1963, somebody spoke of this, when the father decides not to take independence simply because Kenyatta is in jail, it's the same thing that we saw him do in 2022 when we had the Gen Z uprising. Because every other player and cynics thought that maybe Raila should take a position of making sure that the government is not there and add force, but he decides not to do that. He decides to join government, strengthen it, and make sure that everybody can get his stake in the most correct way, in a more orderly way. That's Raila Amolo Odinga for you. And I want to say that this guy was a strong person of unity to our people and this country. I want to also indicate that we remember Raila for his works, that at one time he remained the only alternative for Kenyans. Look at the time of yes and no, the Chungwa movement. People did not believe in the constitution the way it was. And Raila took a position. That is the position that people followed. And finally were relieved. Teachers of this country were lucky to actually get an opportunity through the constitution not to be devolved, because originally the teachers were supposed to have been devolved. We thank Raila for his great positions he always took during tough times. I deliver my condolences to the family. Thank you.
Thank you. The next in line is member from Sambweni.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia hii nafasi ili na mimi nitoe rambirambi na pole zangu. Basi kwa niaba yangu mimi mwenyewe na familia na kwa niaba ya watu wa Msambweni nataka kutoa rambirambi na pole zetu kwa familia ya Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga atakumbukwa kuwa mstari wa mbele katika kupigania demokrasia na kutetea haki za Wakenya. Kwa muda wote ambao amekuwa uongozini, matunda tunayojivunia hadi leo na kuendelea. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nilimjua baba Raila Amolo Odinga kwa mara ya kwanza wakati alitembelea katika kijiji chetu cha Gasi na tukapata kula naye chakula cha mchana. Mara ya pili, Mheshimiwa Spika, nilipata fursa ya kukaa ana kwa ana na Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga wakati ninaanza safari yangu ya siasa. Nilikaa naye zaidi ya jisaji moja na dakika 20 hivi, na alinipatia ushauri wa kutosha, akanipatia motisha na kuniambia inawezekana. Alinijenga nguvu na kunitia imani. Kwa hiyo katika safari yangu ya kisiasa hata yeye ako na mchango ambaye amechangia. Mheshimiwa Spika, sisi kama jamii ya Waislamu tutaendelea kumwombea Mheshimiwa Raila kwa sababu aliheshimu sana dini ya Kiislamu, na alipokuwa waziri mkuu yeye mwenyewe binafsi alikomboa ardhi ya msikiti wa Kongo ambayo ilikuwa imechukuliwa na mabwenyenyi, ardhi ambayo iko katikati ya fuo za Diani Beach. Mheshimiwa Spika, historia ya Kenya ikiandikwa, nafikiri zaidi ya chapter moja itakuwa inazungumzia kuhusu Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Basi wacha Mungu ailaze roho ya Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga mahali pema penye wema, na vile vile tunawaombea familia yake. Mungu awapatie uvumilivu, awapatie subra, awapatie nguvu, hususan wakati huu wa maombolezi. Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker.
The next in the queue is a member for Nyandarua.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to give my condolences on my own behalf and on behalf of the great people of Nyandarua to the family of Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. I pray that God will give the family peace that passes all human understanding at this difficult time. Raila Amolo Odinga was a fighter. He fought all through his life and all through his political life. He fought for multi-party democracy with his own blood. And his achievements in different roles as a prime minister, as a cabinet minister, as a member of parliament for Kibra, and also the leader of opposition was impeccable. He was an ardent supporter of sports, Arsenal being his team. We all enjoyed. It is my prayer that we shall emulate Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. His selflessness, the act of reconciliation, forgiveness, and more importantly, love for motherland. I pray that his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. I wish all of us was brief as honorable member for Nyandarua. Then we'll get some more of us, you know. The next in line is a member for Nyaribari Chache Masaba. Nyaribari Masaba, the honorable Manduku.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Cowards die many times before their death. But for my party leader, Raila Odinga, to die in a far-away land just confirms the timeless creed that this is not our home, we're just passing through. Many words have been used to describe Raila Amolo Odinga, but the best adjectives were those that were read out by His Excellency the President in describing the enigma. How I wish those of us seated here will one day be described in a similar manner when we die, because of the contribution that we will have made to this nation. I was very privileged to meet Honorable Raila Odinga way back in 1994 when I was a student at the university, and I served as a delegate of the Ford Kenya party. Later on, I became his personal architect, and we built many houses with him. But the most important thing that we built was a friendship that lived to this day. I served and I continue serving in his party as member representing Nyaribari Masaba. And all these days, I've sat at his feet and learned many a great deal. I want to inform the House that even in his death, we were planning to launch, in conjunction with the National Museums of Kenya, phase 2 of the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Mausoleum, where he had tasked me to put together a team of architects and engineers so that when he came back from India, would visit the site and break the ground. I hope that that project, which was pet in his mind, would soon come to fruition. To Mama Ida Odinga, I want to tell you that you still remain our mother. Together with your children, we shall support you and we continue loving you. To all the family of Jaramogi, and by extension, the Luo fraternity, I pass my condolences on behalf of the people of Nyaribari Masaba and the Kisii County. May the Enigma's soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The next one is member for Mandera South, Honorable Abdul Haro.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand here this morning to join my fellow colleagues in mourning a great icon, a great statesman, and a great son of this country. In my religion, Quran chapter 2, verse 156, when we are told that from the Creator we came and to the Creator we return. That means every soul must taste death. Honorable Speaker, that verse reminds us of the fact that we are all mortal, and at one point in our life, we will have to leave this world. It's only that some will go before the others, and all of us ultimately, on the appointed dates when we are supposed to leave this world, will all follow. And therefore, I take this opportunity on my behalf and on behalf of my family and on behalf of the people from my constituency, Mandera South constituency, to pass my condolences to the family and friends and Kenyans following the death of the great son of this country, Raila Amolo Odinga. Honorable Speaker, a lot of words have been said here to describe the greatness of Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. One of our members said he's our Mandela. And I'll only add that he's not just our Mandela, but Honorable Raila Odinga is our Mandela, our Mahatma Gandhi, and our Martin Luther King and Malcolm X combined. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Raila Odinga is our great hero. He's a great Pan-Africanist and is a global icon, a champion of reforms, a champion of human rights, a champion of the rights of the common man. Honorable Speaker, we all know the biggest base Honorable Raila has today before his death was Kibera, which is one of the largest slums in East and Central Africa, which means he has always fought for the rights and for the welfare of the people who are at the lowest bottom of the pyramid. Honorable Speaker, do not necessarily need to be destructive. Protest can be used constructively as a tool of social change. Honorable Speaker, it is as a result of those protests which are positively used as a force of social change that Honorable Raila participated in protests that enabled this country to get rid of Section 2A in our constitution to usher in multi-party democracy. Honorable Speaker was crucial in the IPPG package of reforms, which were reforms for legal, administrative, and constitutional reforms, at a time when this country was going through very difficult times. Honorable Raila was also instrumental in the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which ushered in devolution. Honorable Speaker, I will crown it all or end my eulogy by reminding us of the first stanza of our national anthem, which says, "O God of all creation, bless this land and nation, justice be our shield and defender, may we dwell in unity, peace, and liberty." That stanza alone describes the legacy of Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Yes, indeed, Raila Amolo Odinga, the king, is dead, but Baba lives on. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next is member for Marakwet East.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to eulogize our former Prime Minister, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, the political space we are enjoying today as members of Parliament here, and even those who to come after us, Mr. Speaker, is attributed greatly to the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Odinga, Mr. Speaker, is remembered as a true democrat. Mr. Speaker, he fought for the liberation of this country during the one-party rule. The Honorable Odinga, Mr. Speaker, is the real architect and the father of our new constitution of 2010, which has given us many freedoms, Mr. Speaker, which were not there before. Speaker, on behalf of the people of Marakwet East, my own behalf and my family, I want to send my condolences to the family of Raila Amolo Odinga and his family, the friends, and also the ODM family. Mr. Speaker, we have lost a great man, a mentor who has mentored many of us, Mr. Speaker, including his own or our own President, William Ruto, who once said he was a student of Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Odinga is a man who has stood for the country in many occasions. Mr. Speaker, when the country was at the brink of almost a civil war or ethnic clashes in 2007, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, Mr. Speaker, sacrificed his ambitions for the sake of the country. He joined hands with the late Mwai Kibaki for the sake of peace of our nation. Mr. Speaker, we have seen the Honorable Raila shaking hands with the Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta after the 2003 2013 general election. And the same also with the Honorable William Ruto. Mr. Speaker, we are mourning a great man. It is a big loss to our country as Kenyans, and also, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Raila was a true Pan-Africanist. He stood across Africa, Mr. Speaker, and his political shadow cast across Africa, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we want to call upon Kenyans. I know it is really very overwhelming. We have seen many Kenyans, they have gone to JKIA to receive him. Many Kenyans outside here in Parliament, Mr. Speaker. We want to ask our followers, our constituents, we want to ask Kenyans that let's mourn our hero in peace. Mr. Speaker, For us who were young at that time, when the Honorable Raila was a member of parliament in this house, he inspired many of us because, especially when he was a prime minister and answering questions every Wednesday in this house, Mr. Speaker, how he was tackling those questions, which is affecting Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say we are going to miss the Honorable Raila, and may his soul rest in peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank
you, Mr. Speaker, for also allowing me this rare opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to eulogize our friend, our father, our great man, a man whose figure stood like that of a nation. Mr. Speaker, this gentleman who is lying today and who we are eulogizing today was a true enigma. He was a true icon. He was a true fighter for democracy, for constitutional change. Mr. Speaker, I will name all that I know, and all that I know, and all that we know is incomparable to this man who we are eulogizing today, the man Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, Raila Amolo Odinga is synonymous with courage, resilience, and unwavering dedication to the people of this country. Many people have talked about so many things about the great Prime Minister, that he dedicated almost 80% of his life to this country, Mr. Speaker. I think it is only maybe 20% that he dedicated to his personal life. Today, Mr. Speaker, we don't know how to say or what we can say or what we can think that can be enough to eulogize this man. I personally knew the Prime Minister in 2006 when I first started preparing to contest for the Kilgoris constituency seat, and that is when I met him. He took my hand, and from that time, Mr. Speaker, I never looked back. I worked with him. He taught me so many things. He changed my political course. He inspired me. He made me literally what I am today, Mr. Speaker. Raila Amolo Odinga was my great friend. I contested, I lost, I recontested in a by-election, which of course we also lost, but he stood with me, Mr. Speaker. I remember he had even persuaded to nominate me to this house, Mr. Speaker, a position I declined because of the political temperatures in our constituency at that time. Mr. Speaker, later on, Mr. Speaker, he also appointed me or nominated me to the position of Chair, Poverty Eradication Commission, Mr. Speaker, because of the true friendship and the true patriotism that he had. A position I never served, Mr. Speaker, because of also political issues at that particular time. Mr. Speaker, I stood with this gentleman. And even when I was doing my studies, when I was doing masters at the University of Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, he paid for my fees. He nurtured me. He taught me so many things. Mr. Speaker, I also remember when I was getting married, Mr. Speaker, though it was later in my life, he came. Even despite the temperatures at that particular time, Mr. Speaker, in the Great Rift, he came. And I remember him flying that whisk, that fly whisk, over my head and my wife while we were tying the knot, Mr. Speaker. Raila was my great friend. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that even as we are remembering this great man, we must remember this country, what this country has gone through, the stages of democracy, elections which have taken place in this country, the names we had even given this gentleman when he was still alive. Today we want to say, Raila Amolo Odinga, may your soul rest in peace. May your family also get peace, even at this time. Because I know, the Speaker, many a times when Raila was alive, when he was contesting, when he lost, and all that. Even the family went through so many tribulations. And I believe, even as we rest this gentleman today, the family will also find peace. And our country will also find that happiness which Raila fought for. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker, that I'm a product of this great gentleman. I say, Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga, go well. We will join you at some point. Thank you.
Thank you. Member for Laikipia West, the Honorable Wachira Karani.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also send my condolences to the family of the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. This is a gentleman I really admired. I must admit I have never voted for him, but he's a gentleman I admire. Mr. Speaker, I've vied for 5 consecutive times, starting 2002, 2007, 2013, 2017, and 2022. I've won twice. I've lost 3 times. When I last lost in 2017, I nearly went to depression. But I remembered this gentleman, that he has lost so many times, but he is ever joyful. So he encouraged me for his resilience, and that gave me a lot of encouragement. He was also a lover of sports. I remember in the last concluded Chan Games, I could see Honorable Raila Odinga attending to all the matches that were being played. Even with his advanced age, he would go there very early and remain there until the matches are over. It is for that love for sports that I'm proposing that the newly built Taranta Hera Stadium in Dagoretti be named after Honorable Raila Odinga and be named Raila Odinga Stadium, so that his name can be remembered for very long. Finally, eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon him. May he rest in peace. Thank you.
Well said and very well briefed, very brief and to the point. That'll do well. Member for Mavoko.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me rise to eulogize, pay tribute to an enigma, to a nationalist, a person who was selfless, a person who was full of people's interests, a person who bled for this country, a person who suffered for this nation. The freedoms that we are enjoying today were all found and fought for by the late Right Honorable Dr. Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, allow me this morning to thank all members of this House who have seen it fit and understood reasons why we could not continue laying the late Raila Amolo Odinga in state in this House. The love that his people have shown. Mr. Speaker, starting from the airport, you saw how the mourners went even to the aeroplane that was carrying the remains of the late Raila Amolo Odinga. Coming here to Parliament, we had to make a quick decision, which all of you've understood. You saw the way the crowds were building up outside there, and of course, it was going to pose a big threat to this House. So I want to thank you for understanding. But however, allow me, Mr. Speaker, to say Raila Amolo Odinga is one of the people that myself and the people of Mavoko loved. In fact, I want to tell this House, all the final campaigns of 2013, 2017, 2022, the final rallies were done in Athi River and Mlolongo, and they were mammoth. In fact, even himself used to tell me, Mheshimiwa Mavoko, mimi napenda Mavoko. So On behalf of the people of Mavoko, I want to bring our heartfelt condolences to the family of the late Raila Amolo Odinga, Mama Aida and children. I know the burden is not yours alone, it's for all of us. Right now, it is known my party leader, Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, has stood with Raila Amolo Odinga from 2013, 2017, and 2022. We were there, even despite him not being the running mate. We have supported him. We have always seen Raila as our father. We have seen him as our party leader. And indeed, when we come to this house, from CORD to Azimio to NASA, we've all rallied behind him. And I have seen his true leadership. In fact, it's important for this house to know I am Commissioner Courtesy, the late Raila Amolo Odinga, and my party leader. He is a man who convinced me, in fact, not to run for Machakos County governor, to let it go, then I come to Parliament. And that shows you how he had good negotiating skills, and Raila will never get annoyed at you. He will tell you the truth. He will advise you which position to run for. And I think it all ended up very well. We have seen him in such negotiations through the handshakes he has done with all the presidents that he's done, including Moi, who was seen as one of the most rigid leaders in Africa. But Raila Amolo Odinga cracked him, and he joined KANU at a time when KANU was the only party. We also remember Raila for fighting for multi-party democracy in this country. We will remember him forever for even being the first minister of housing, roads and housing, having designed the southern and northern bypasses in this country. Mr. Speaker, this country, Africa, and the world has lost a hero, a hero, a hero. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Go well, go well. We'll meet again. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honorable member for Uriri, followed by the member for Mara. Member for Uriri, the member for Mara. In that order, then the next one on the board is the member for Endabes. It is going to be like that. That's what they're going to be, the way it is. When you get your chance, when your chance comes, you're going to get a chance. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, today is like from yesterday. The country is in mourning. I have a written tribute, and Mr. Speaker, it'll allow me to quickly run through it. Today, Kenya bows its head in sorrow and pride. Raila Amolo Odinga has rested. A mighty chapter of our national story has closed. Yet in grief, we rise to salute a man whose life gave meaning to courage, resilience, and faith in our republic. Mr. Speaker, growing up in high school, we knew of his father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, the lion who once visited my alma mater, Rapogi High School. The people lined by the roadside to catch a glimpse of that great man, as they would during that time for President Moi. When Jaramogi died, our parents, our community were anxious of what would become of the community. Then emerged his son, Raila. His name became a byword, a household name, the only name everyone spoke. At the university, he emboldened a generation. He gave us the courage to question power. Among our students, there was a common word whenever injustice or whatever we thought was injustice, you'd hear the word onge to mean no, was whispered during campus protests. It was enough to stiffen the administration. They knew we would not back down because Raila had our back. He symbolized defiance in service of justice. He was detained without trial, tortured in the dark cells, yet he walked out preaching peace. He carried no bitterness, only conviction that Kenya must be better. He used his suffering to build bridges where others have built walls or would have built walls even then. I first met him around 2013 during his presidential campaign launch. I caught the political bug then. He urged us, the young people, to throw our hearts in the ring. I did. I ran for Migori County Governor during that time. I was unsuccessful, but it lit a fire that still burns. Unlike modern day politicians, Mr. Speaker, who mobilize their followers with tokens and money, Raila gave no handouts. People followed him naturally. They followed the force of his ideas, his sacrifice, and his belief that freedom was a sacred duty. When I later ran for Member of Parliament of Uriri, people told me that for you to get the ODM ticket, you had to pay money. But when I won the nominations, my opponent then took me to the tribunal. He called me a relatively unknown candidate and simply said, if you have won, you get the ticket. I didn't pay a coin. That was Raila. Fair, principled, and allergic to injustice, even in small things. We had our moments after the 2022 elections. I was among the members of the Orange Democratic Party who chose to work with President Ruto. At one point, he invited me for a one-on-one, and he told me, Mheshimiwa Nyamita, the difference between us is that I've been your age, but you've not been my age. He smiled and added, but there are things happening now that did not happen when I was your age. So we must consult both ways. That humility coming from a man who had faced prison, betrayal, and stolen victories taught me that leadership is not about winning arguments, but keeping bridges open. He believed peace was patriotic. He separated the office he sought from the well-being of the country. That is why, even when he believed his victory was stolen, he always made peace. He did it with Moi, he did it with Kibaki, with Uhuru, and even lately with Ruto. He understood that Kenya was always bigger than Raila Odinga. Mr. Speaker,
we'll add you 30 seconds to wind up.
Mr. Speaker, Raila told us nobody can stop reggae. Today, that is not a slogan, it is a sermon. The music must go on. We will make it play through unity, fairness, and courage to speak the truth without malice. Baba is gone. Long live Baba.
Thank you. The member from Mara was next.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And on my own behalf, on behalf of the Mbyuki's family, the entire Mara constituent and Tharaka County at large, Mr. Speaker, I stand with very heavy heart as we mourn our late former Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, the democratic space we are enjoying today is basically courtesy of the late Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, we remember the journey of repealing Section 2A, and Raila Amolo Odinga was the most instrumental leader who really pushed during the current time to ensure that Section 2A is repealed, Mr. Speaker. And that is what we're enjoying today. Today we are multi-party democracy, and as we sit here, we will always continue appreciating the law which our former Prime Minister played. Mr. Speaker, I had an opportunity of serving with Raila Amolo Odinga when he was the Prime Minister after the 2007 general election. By then, Mr. Speaker, I was the Assistant Minister for Agriculture. And Mr. Speaker, during that time, it is through his effort and that of our late President Mwai Kibaki that we started the farm input subsidy, be it fertilizer, Mr. Speaker, and also in distribution of farm input, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I remember during the 10th Parliament, by that particular time I was representing the Lanja Nidi constituency, we had a very bad accident near Nidi Bridge, whereby almost 10 people from Medero community. We lost 10 people from one community. And it is Raila Amolo Odinga who came to our aid. He gave the community the support, and actually he attended the mass burial which we had at Medero that particular time. Mr. Speaker, that's the man whom we are celebrating today. Mr. Speaker, Raila Amolo Odinga was a peacemaker. Even after several contentious elections from 2007, where he had an handshake with Mwai Kibaki and he became the Prime Minister. Come 2013, Mr. Speaker, he still had an handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta in 2017. And currently, Mr. Speaker, this country, it is enjoying the fruit of the broad-based government. And that is Raila Amolo Odinga for you. Mr. Speaker, Raila Amolo Odinga was a pillar of political stability in this country. And I would really like us as political leaders to emulate him, continue preaching peace, even the time of difficulties, Mr. Speaker. His ability to build bridges among bridges in political divide, Mr. Speaker, is what actually, Mr. Speaker, should be able to guide us. Even under extremely very difficult circumstances, Mr. Speaker, we have seen the late Raila Amolo Odinga coming up in a very powerful way. Mr. Speaker, Raila Amolo Odinga has been standing for the peace of this country, even under the extreme circumstances, especially after the Gen Z revolution, Mr. Speaker. Gen Z came, Raila Amolo Odinga could have taken advantage of that situation and continue being on the other side of the divide. But he decided to have an handshake with His Excellency, the President William Ruto, and the country has been able to stabilize. And up to and including today, Mr. Speaker, we have seen other leaders, other political party leaders also joining hands with His Excellency the President so that this country can be able to go far, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish on my own behalf once again to continue praying for Raila Amolo Odinga and his family. And more so, we put Mama Aida Odinga in prayers together with the children because it is not easy. We know they are going through a lot, and through the prayer, through our own support, the family will continue well. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, sir, once again, poleni kwa familia, and let's emulate all the attributes of our late Raila Amolo Odinga. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Member for Endebess.
Honorable Speaker, on my own behalf and that behalf of the great people of Endebess, I want to send my condolence to the family of the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, to his children, to his wife, and to my colleague, Honorable Ruth Odinga, who is a member of the Budget and Appropriation Committee. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Raila Odinga was a great man. I got to travel with him, with Honorable Mule Mutinda, member, and Honorable Mwadime, the current governor for Taita. We went together to Morocco, to a place called Dakhla. While we were there, Honorable Speaker, at one stage, you know, Kenya does not, at that time, does not support Morocco's occupation of Western Sahara. So at that time, the clerk even tried to recall us that you are joining the leader of opposition to go to a place where the government does not support. Myself and Honorable Mule and Mwadime, we decided that we'll decline that return. So we went with the Honorable Raila to Dakhla. And Honorable Speaker, he proved to us that he's a great man, because during that meeting, most of his address was for the interests of the Republic of Kenya. That was around 2015. Even when we came back after spending about 10 days together in the Western Sahara, he was on a first class. But when we landed in Dubai, he decided that he was not going to sit in the first class lounge. He was coming to sit with us in the business class, just to enjoy our company. You can recall, Honorable Speaker, that is humility. A humble guy who is of that status. Because during that meeting in Dakla, he was the chief guest together with Reverend Jesse Jackson. And Honorable Speaker, when you look at the history of the enigma Raila Odinga, he sacrificed a lot for this country. Many people have made careers from his support. Many people have made also careers from opposing him, using his name. Today, a great man rests, Honorable Speaker. It is a history in this country. Some of us, when we were young at the university, we got to interact briefly with the late doyen of opposition politics, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. But I would want to say that Honorable Raila Odinga has actually surpassed some of that level. He's lived beyond many expectations. A man who is humble, down to earth, and somebody who loved his country more than even his life. Fare thee well, Honorable Raila Odinga. May you live in eternal peace. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Sunkuli.
Mr. Speaker, today we are paying tribute to a compatriot, a fellow citizen of this country who has lived indeed and served on many, many fronts, a political figure with many abilities. He had abilities for fighting and had abilities for making peace. I was elected in 1992 to the first multi-party house in this country, if you may discount the first periods of the after independence. And the Honorable Raila Odinga was elected member of parliament at the same time. We served together from 1992 when he came in as a member of Ford, and later on he had to face another re-election because they changed parties to the NDP. Mr. Speaker, I have not sat on the same side with Honorable Raila for a long time, other than the last elections, which has placed me on this side of Azimio where he was leading. Most of the times, I was sitting on the other side. When I was a minister, I used to answer questions that he asked. And one of the things that I still remember very well was when the Honorable Raila asked me a question about provincial administration. To the effect, is the minister aware? And I stood there and said, no, the minister is not aware. And then he tabled a document which disarmed me, because in my own thinking, that document was very, very confidential. But the Honorable Raila had a way to get even the most confidential of things in the government. We were, of course, ministers of another great man called Moi, to whom Raila was his opposition. But I can attest, Mr. Speaker, that even as he lived in opposition, he was always very objective. We were all men of principle in our own way. But he rose to greatness mainly because of the view that he had, the kind of people he represented, the population that he represented, and the steadfastness, the persistence in coming into this house and winning elections kept him to grow higher and higher. At one point, Mr. Speaker, we joined the same political party with the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. He came to Kanu And of course, that became the strategy that ultimately destroyed KANU. Mr. Speaker, I saw it with my own eyes because in the short time when things were good, I took the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga to Kilgoris, to a place called Angata, to go and perform a harambe for a dormitory, which still stands up to now, a laboratory, sorry. And after that, Mr. Speaker, I tried to get him to sleep in Kilgoris. But no, that was not the only function he had. And those days were not the helicopter days of now. Raila moved on and went to Kabarak and had a very strong discussion with Moi. And within a short time, Mr. Speaker, he was our Secretary General. And when disagreement came, which I still believe was his main strategy, he moved away with a substantial number of our party people, being Saitoti, Kalonzo, and other people who we never thought would move. I don't know whether you would add me a second, So, Mr. Speaker, I was requesting for 1 more minute because it's turning red.
You'll get 30 seconds more.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. So, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga was great in many ways. Of course, he was the face of the opposition. Does that... of course, he was the face of the opposition in Kenya. But the Kenyans will always remember him for being a man who played many roles. He was on this stage. As Shakespeare says, this world is but a stage. We all have our entry as well as our exit. Now Raila came, played his many roles. He entered into the world, and fortunately, he has to exit, like all of us have to do. Fare thee well. Kenya will miss you.
Thank you. Member for Njoro.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think you'll be adding me another 1 minute.
On the list,
Mr. Speaker, sir.
I told you this will not happen. So the list I have, the next person to speak is member for Limuru, then Igembe North, then Tigania West, then Barakwes West, in that order. And I can assure you, it will remain that way. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Allow me to join fellow Kenyans. I'm representing Joro constituency people from Nakuru County. Allow me to give my sincere condolences for the loss of this great man, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, sir, as Raila today rests, I think I remember one great thing he has done for this country is humility. He is the father of democracy in this country. And I wish to sincerely say that Kenya has lost a great man, a man who humbled himself when Kenyans needed such a man who humbled himself and joined His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto to unite this country and to ensure that there is peace. And Mr. Speaker, sir, the Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers. Today we want to remember this great man who has left this country united and the country with a lot of peace. For us to celebrate Honorable Raila today, we must celebrate him in a very special way. That he is a greater man who has made all of us to have a peaceful country up to now. I think my humble request to all Kenyans, let us celebrate this hero with a lot of peace and ensure that there's also peace, love, and unity in this country. I also want to take some time to pray for our mom, Ida Raila. and tell her that we pray for her, that God will give her a lot of strength. May God protect the family and our children. I know it is the worst moment right now, Speaker, for Ida. And I'm speaking myself as Member of Parliament, who has also gone through a lot of pain when I lost my husband through leukemia. Therefore, today I take this moment to pray for this humble lady, Ida, so that God can make her stronger, so that she can continue with her life and to make the children for Raila to be more stronger. For all of us, let us take the best readings we have gotten from Raila, the man who also fought for devolution in this country. Let us try to pick the best things Mheshimiwa Raila has done for this country. Kwa sisi wote wa Kenya, tunaomboleza na tunasema Mungu aweke Honorable Raila mahali pema. Asante sana, Bwana Speaker.
Member for Limuru. Members, if you could do 3 minutes each, under amendment, we could have probably another, because I would be extending a few minutes so that we can get more.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity. Let me take this opportunity to give my condolences to the family of Right Honorable Raila, from my family and the great people of Limuru. The life of Honorable Raila has been given, and for me, I have learned and have thanked God for him being a gift to Kenya. I see him as one person that we can learn a lot about forgiveness, because in his life, he has honestly forgiven many who even did bad things to him. The other thing, Mr. Speaker, is his capacity to be able to tolerate. Even when people have called him all sorts of things, he has always been clear as to what he is focused, and in particular, his love for this nation. I also note one other thing that is special to him, the fact that he can be able to reconcile with people of divergent beliefs or convictions, and one person who has actually demonstrated this in this country. But let me also say that this is one person, as an engineer. I met him when I was a student, and he was at the University of Nairobi. And I followed his engineering career to when he was in the Kenya Bureau of Standards. Mr. Speaker, this is one person who also believed in Kenya, that Kenya can actually grow itself. He even went to start an industry, the Spectre, where he went to do and to produce in this country something that people never thought it could be produced, all the gas cylinders in this country. This is one person who believed that we have a capacity to grow our industry. So as an engineer, and I speak on behalf of many of the engineers who have passed this house, and even to my professional colleagues out there, we have lost somebody who we are looking up to, because he is one person not only took his ideas about infrastructure development in Kenya, but also the rest of this Africa continent. He believed that we can open up the various roadblocks that we have created between the countries and have major infrastructure crossing all over the African continent, so that this continent can grow. For this nation, I remember not long ago, he talked about the need to address the issues of JKIA. And today, when I was looking at this airport, when we were receiving his body, I felt that if there was something that we need to do, is to make JKA, the Right Honorable Raila wanted to see. Make sure that JKA becomes the hub of the East African region, and that we do not need to be number 3, behind Addis or Kigali. So for me, he's a man who had vision for developing not only this country, Kenya, but the region. And one that if there is something we can learn is that he was not a tribalist. He did not want to play the kingmanship, but he believed that as a nation, we can live together and we can develop this country together. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. The Honorable Naomi Wako, then the Honorable Taitimu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to give my tribute on behalf of Marsabit people and on my own behalf. Honorable Speaker, it's a sad day because we've lost a great leader, somebody whom we have known as Baba, and many people have associated with him. Many have worked with him and known as freedom fighter, known as reformist, and also the role he played in this nation as opposition leader who had great following. Honorable Speaker, this morning I went to Jomo Kenyatta Airport just to be part of the team that will receive the body. And the crowd I saw there, I think will remain in my mind. They were very emotional, very energetic, and you could see the passion. And I said, if this is what the late Honorable Raila has built over the years, the commitment, the love and the passion you could see on the people who are there this morning to receive the body, beside the president, the executive, the dignitaries, the common mwananchi. We had big number that was uncontrollable. That demonstrated the love that Kenyans have for the late Prime Minister. A serious politician, a very patriotic person, and demonstrated the love he had for the country by working with all the presidents. Our president, William Samoei Ruto, is the 5th president, but he has worked even with all the others, just because he cared and he cares about this great nation. He has shaped our politics. He has mentored politicians. He has sacrificed for this nation. And that is why today everyone is shedding tears, and we are all in the same situation and praying very hard that God will comfort his family. Honorable Speaker, a very influential man who connected well with many politicians, who connected well with many international leaders, and a great leader who until his death demonstrated his leadership, passion, and love for his country. For sure, as a nation, we have lost a great leader. But we know very well, as the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 7, that there is time for everything. There's time to be born and to be buried. There is time for celebration and to mourn. And today, it is our time as a nation to mourn the passing on of a great leader. A great leader who will not only be missed by Kenyans, but by entire world. Honorable Speaker, it is my prayer that we will give him a good send-off and that Kenyans will give him that respect without much distraction, and give him the respect that he deserves. I send my condolences to his wife, our dear mom, Aida, to his daughter, Winnie, to Raila Odinga Jr., to Rosemary, to Akinyi, to Ruth, our colleague, and my prayers are with them. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one on the list was Honorable Member for Igembe North, Honorable Taitumi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me take the cue on my own behalf and on behalf of the people of Igembe to tender my hearty condolences to the family of Odinga, the President, and the fellow Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, Kenya's post-independent history cannot be complete without the name of Raila. This is a person who has fought for almost the entire life to make sure that the Kenyan people enjoys the democracy that is envisioned in our constitution. Mr. Odinga has fought to make sure that devolution works in this country. Mr. Odinga's life and fight for democracy can only be equated to the life and the struggles of Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, his struggle against Calabar, racial segregation commonly known as apartheid in South Africa. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, the entire country was engulfed by a dark cloud when the news of passing on of the great Kenyan, the Honorable Raila Odinga, was announced. This is a clear testimony of the ideals that Raila stood for. Despite losing in several elections, whereby he contested to be the president of this country, Mr. Raila Odinga made sure that this country remains united. At no particular time did he lose direction to tear this country apart. Mr. Raila Odinga was never tribal. Even losing, he did not condemn any community having caused its defeat. In 2007, whereby this country witnessed a great upsurge and the fight that came up after the announcement of President Kibaki as the winner, Raila could not let the country go to the drains. This is a man who walked his talk. When he said something, he did not mind how many people were against it. He stood for what he believed in. And I would pray that his passing on fortifies this country so that the country remains united, the country remains stable and without equivocals that are caused by tribal divisions. We are eulogizing a great man, a patriot, a person whose political interest transcends other things other than the interest of Kenya. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Member for Regania West. And he'll be followed by...
Honourable Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to eulogize with the family, the friends, the relatives, even the ODM fraternity, and the entire country.
Order. Members who are leaving, I just want to make a ruling that for members who have logged in, don't remove your card so that when you see in the afternoon, you don't have to queue back again. I think that would make a lot of sense. Because
thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker.
Order. And members, the reason this happened is that we came in and logged in at the same time in the morning. So that's why you see some of us have sat since 10. Because we logged in at the same time and we have to follow the list. So I'll allow the Honourable Mutunga, then two more, then we can close for the morning session.
Honourable Speaker, I stand to eulogize with the family of the late Honourable Raila Amolo Odinga, his dear wife, his daughters, and the son, Honourable Speaker, our colleagues, Ruth, who is in my committee, and also the brother, Senator Uhuru Odinga, and others, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I also know that many Kenyans are affected. The members of the ODM party are affected. The lovers of democracy in this country are seriously affected because Raila has been a great pillar in fight for democracy. Honourable Speaker, to all of us, we have learned many lessons. We have learned courage as a lesson where Raila Amolo Odinga is concerned. The Right Honourable Raila Amolo Odinga has been a beacon of hope for many of us in this country. He has spearheaded many courageous fights. He has spearheaded the fight for democracy and the scrapping of Section 2A of the Constitution then. Honourable Speaker, Raila has been a great man who has fought for this country, not only for democracy, Honourable Speaker, he was at the forefront in fighting for the Constitution. Kenya today enjoys about the best Constitution in Africa, which has really exposed our people to living these lives of the 21st century. Honourable Speaker, were it not for him, I don't think we would have achieved it in the time we did achieve that particular Constitution. Honourable Speaker, in that Constitution, the Honourable Raila Amolo Odinga made sure that the rights are properly captured. The chapter on rights and fundamental freedoms is very articulate and very detailed. The issue of the right to association, the right to freedom of expression, and many other freedoms have been very well articulated in the Constitution. And he is one of the people who have even demonstrated in this country that people need to be heard. Honourable Speaker, in all the cases that the late Right Honourable Raila Amolo Odinga lost as a presidential candidate, he chose peace. He chose to negotiate. He never chose to throw this country into trouble. He never chose the war, any other, solution to such problems. He chose to negotiate. And since he's been negotiating, we need to learn as leaders, when we make inflammatory statements and try to bring our people against others, we need to know that Kenya is a unitary state. It is indivisible. This is where we all live, and this is where we shall all live, and this is where our great children and great-grandchildren will live. And therefore, we need to maintain it as a country where everyone feels comfortable to live as a Kenyan. Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Raila Amolo Odinga was also in the forefront in the fight for devolution. He has helped uphold devolution because the idea is to try and even out the development. And it's upon realization that certain parts of this country were not accessing development because they were not in the top echelons of leadership of the country. The present war that Raila Amolo Odinga was fighting, which is enshrined in the NADCO report, is the war on the fidelity of the political parties. And this is a war that needs to be fought, and we need to remember that it is a war that needs to be won as well. Finally, Honourable Speaker, I would like to thank the President for considering that Honourable Raila Amolo Odinga deserves he deserves a state funeral. This is a deserving man. He's been the first. Prime Minister in this country, and therefore he has lived at the top. Even if he has never been the president, he has been the greatest support to all presidents of this country. And in that case, Honourable Speaker, he really deserves to be given a state funeral. And that is why most of the Kenyans today are mourning. We all are mourning because we have lost a great man, we have lost a great hope for this country, and his loss has left a huge gap. This, we need to pray that it may be filled correctly. Honourable Speaker, with those very few remarks, I wish to pray that the soul of Honourable Raila Amolo Odinga rests in eternal peace.
Thank you. We'll have the member for Bureti, then we'll close the member for Seme this morning.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I stand to join Kenyans and the members here, and on behalf of the people of Bureti, wish to convey our condolences and to the people of Kenya, particularly the family of the late Raila Amolo Odinga, the people of Kisumu, the ODM fraternity, and the rest of the world. We join in mourning and speak of the great things Raila Amolo Odinga has done, not only in advancing the democracy and the democratic space in the country, but also in the improving and in the holding together of a nation. In times of crisis, Raila Amolo Odinga has stood with the side of history for progress and for the people so that we can remain together as a nation. Today, Honorable Speaker, is a sad day for the country. And knowing this, we want to stand together as a nation and remember the work that he has done, to further the work that he has done in peace building, in bridges building, and in also making sure that this nation remains as one unitary state. One of the great legacies Raila Amolo Odinga has left is a unified country. You may recall, Honorable Speaker, that at the death of the Jaramogi Odinga, the opposition was such a strong movement in this country. The Luo Nyanza remained in the opposition until the coming of Raila Amolo Odinga. And one of the great legacies he has done, he has left the people of the Luo Nyanza in government and brought the nation together, and the party of ODM joining together with UDA and the Kenya Kwanza government to advance the prosperity, the peaceful coexistence, the unitary state of Kenya, and making sure that we all move together as a nation. It will be remembered also that Raila Amolo Odinga is the only leader who has been able to remain faithful, forthright, and focused in having the nation move along. He has joined hands with his nemesis for the sake of the nation. He has stood strong against the tide of corruption and made sure that this nation moves on. He has remained focused to see that development in all parts of this country remains as the mainstream idea that propels and compels us and put us together in the vision. You will recall that the crafting of the Vision 2030, Raila Amolo Odinga was part of the team that put together that Vision 2030. We are almost achieving it. We are not yet there, but we know those who believe in democracy, like ourselves, those who believe in freedom, like ourselves, those who believe in devolution, like ourselves, those who believe in the focusing of our energies and concentrating our forces to be able to move this country forward is the greatest thing. Now we call upon all and sundry that we may come together in this moment, not only to look at the vision that he had, but also at the ideas that he held dearly. The convictions of free speech, the idea of democratic space being opened up, and the people of Kenya coming together to not only celebrate his life, but also to reflect upon the days of his life and see what manner of man he has been, what manner of a leader he has remained, and what manner of a person that he stood for. We will miss him, but we know his ideals lives on. And on that end, we know we join together with the President of the Republic, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, that moving forward, we will remain focused, we will remain steadfast, we will remain a people and a nation under God, and we know that we will remain as a nation together moving forward. Raila is dead, but Baba lives on. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Nyikal, finally for the morning session.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I sadly arise on behalf of myself, my family, and most importantly, the people of Seme, to pass my condolences to the family of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. To pass my condolences to the people of Kenya for the loss of the best president we never had. A leader who truly stood for democracy. A leader who wholeheartedly loved the people of Kenya. A leader who truly believed that the sole purpose of acquiring power is to improve the lives of the people. A leader who believed that power emanates from the people. For all this, he was detained for 8 years. For this, he sacrificed his ambitions more than once, or even victory, to work with his political enemies, as if they never fought bitterly before those victories or losses. For this, he spearheaded and worked for devolution, which when, and I'm not saying if, when implemented as he visioned, will make a great change in the people's lives. The people of Kenya will benefit. Raila truly respected and cherished people's lives. I saw him cry when people died during his homecoming. In 2007, when the people died, he went for the handshake. After his homecoming, when people died, in 2007, he went for the coalition government when people were dying. When people died during his homecoming, again, he went for the handshake. He truly lived for the welfare of the people of Kenya. May God rest his soul in eternal peace.
Members who are queued to speak next, and I can see you in the house, please just come on time so that you're not skipped. I can see the Honorable Richard Yegon, Parashina, all the way down through Honorable Waida. Just come on time so that when your name is called in the afternoon, because we don't want to skip anybody in the afternoon again. Thank you so much. All members, and the time now being 1 p.m., 1:16 p.m., this House is adjourned until today, Thursday, 16th October 2025 at 2:30 p.m.